The San Jose Sharks losing streak hits 8 straight games, this time thanks to weird bounces against the Sens.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reeve, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making the Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everyday, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And tonight we are breaking down the Sharks' 5-3 loss to the Ottawa Senators. We're going to talk about weird bounces, the power play looking good, dig into the numbers of this game and how the Sharks couldn't take advantage of their strong first period, and then the Seth Jones trade and how this could potentially impact your San Jose Sharks. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Okay, 8 straight losses. But as we have seen, the Sharks holding a lead going into the third period, and the Sharks yet again finding a way to lose a game. This time, thanks to a 5-on-3 power play, which very much all penalties there. And you know, like if the other team has a 5-on-3, they're expected to score. Unless you're the Barracuda right now, and then the one that just like, if you like wanted to like just summarize the whole San Jose Sharks season in one clip, Vitek Vanecek goes behind the puck, something he's probably done a million times in his life. He goes behind the net to play the puck as he's waiting for the puck to rim around, as he's probably done a million times in his life. It takes a weird bounce, bounces out in front. He dives out there. Tim Stützle dives on the puck and is able to get it in to give the Sens a 4-3 lead. They end up getting an empty netter to make it. Sens a 4-2 lead. The Sens end up with an empty netter after a Will Smith power play goal. That is just this season, right? Of so many things that if they just puck bounces a different way or just something else happens, the Sharks are winning games, right? But alas, again, Matthew Schaefer or Michael Misa, they're going to look sick and teal coming up really soon. So the hope is, right, that this eventually starting next season turns around, because like the way they just continually find ways to lose games on the weirdest things possible. And again, like, you don't give up a shorthanded goal in a first period that you were absolutely dominating the Sens. Like, don't do that. You probably have, better chance to win. Don't put yourself in the box. Like Mario Ferraro, I get what you're trying to do there, but you got to be a little smarter, right? Colin Graf, don't throw the puck over glass. Like, a lot of that stuff, like, just don't do that, and you don't put yourself in a bad situation. But this was a highly entertaining game where both teams kind of took control for good chunks of the game, and for the Sharks, just unable to kind of find, it was weird, unable to find an even strength goal. Power play was buzzing tonight, right? 3 power play goals. Well, I guess there was a goal scored on all 4 power plays that the Sharks had, but 3 power play goals tonight. Toffoli with a goal, Liljegren, and Will Smith. Will Smith has been absolutely. We're gonna spend some time talking about Will Smith here, probably tomorrow, but just one of those games where it was just like, if you can get your your stuff together for like 5 minutes, you probably win this game. And they just unable to. Allmark made some great saves down the stretch. Like the Sharks definitely pushed in the last like kind of 10 minutes or so. And Allmark did make some really nice saves there, but it's self-inflicted wounds for the Sharks, and that has just been the story of the season. And when you're as talent poor as the Sharks are, you just can't overcome those self-inflicted wounds. So positives though is we continue to see the top two lines perform very well. The Wenberg, Will Smith, Fabian Zerlin line has been doing its thing. They've been, arguably you could say they've been playing better than the Celebrini Ekblad to Foley line has, and good development. Like these are good developments for the Sharks. It's that way. It is not all having to be Macklin Celebrini doing everything to help kind of drive the Sharks. Good, but still having issues with the third and fourth line. The Cunnin Goodrow line, like they had some opportunities tonight, but they get hemmed in their own zone at one point, which leads to Vlasic and Jack Thompson being out there for 3.5 minutes, like 3.5 minutes, where the Sens are just, it looked like it was like warm-ups for them where they're just skating around, shooting the puck and passing to each other. It looked like warm-ups for them. Like the Sharks just, it's small miracle that the Sens didn't score there. But yeah, I think looking at this game is just so many what ifs, right? What if you play better or what if you get a goal in the first period in a period that you outplayed this? Like how insane the first period, 0.56 expected goals for to 0.05 for the Sens. Like the Sens had 0.05 expected goals for at 5-on-5. They had two in 1535. They had 2 shots on goal at 5-on-5. Power play is kind of where they pumped up some of those numbers, and of course the shorthanded goal to make it. So they had 8 shots in the first period. 2 of them came at 5-on-5 and in basically 3/4 of the period. The other, 4.5 minutes is where they got the rest of the 6 shots on goal, and that was a power play time, and then as well as a shorthanded goal. Like if you score in that time and you get up 1-0 or potentially 2-0, the Sens team just kind of like very slow start for the Sens team, which I was surprised by. We're probably talking about a different game. So, but yeah, good for the young players. Like Celebrini continues to play well. I thought he had a good game tonight, 2 assists tonight, and continues to drive play, continues to do Macklin Celebrini things. The penalties were again like the Stützle, like yes, did Ty Dellandrea slash him? 100% he slashed him. Did Tim Stützle act like he was like, I don't know, man, like definitely a dive there. I know Sens fans are mad about the Tyler Toffoli like play at the end of the game where, like, I don't know, does Toffoli maybe get a call or a fine there potentially, but like who knows right there. It's just yeah, it's like the officiating was, I thought the officiating was okay. But 100% title injury, like it was a very soft slash. We've seen that slash not get called a million times. Tim Stützle, like doing Tim Stützle things, also does bit of a dive there as well. So didn't end up hurting the Sharks anyway because they killed the penalty. So but yeah, I think for this game it's so many of these just not taking advantage of your opportunities, right? I thought Vitek Vanecek played pretty well tonight. You got the power play was great. If you got in a 5-on-5 goal, an even strength goal in there, especially in the first period when you were controlling, I think the Sharks win this game. They just aren't unable to pounce on their opportunity early in this game. And I think that's the big difference in the Sens took advantage, right? The Sens took advantage of their big opportunities. They get a 5-on-3 power play. They score on that, and then they get a weird bounce and they score on that. And I think that's the big difference between this game. So we'll dig into the numbers behind this game, kind of look at how the lines performed, look at the kind of up and down nature of this game between the two teams. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or just want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. Hopefully, you're betting on Seth Curry to do Seth Curry things, because when Seth Curry goes off, you can get paid instantly. Sounds like a win-win to me. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. We have 2 goals right in a row from the CUDA. I'm watching the CUDA game right as now. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe as we continue to we have trade deadline this week. We got more draft profiles, plenty of great stuff coming here at Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. So let's dig into the numbers of this game. We had 47-27 of 5-on-5 time. Again, like, it's 2 games in a row where the Sharks outplay their opponent. 60-45 shot attempts in favor of the Sharks. 29-20 actual shots in favor of the Sharks. Corsi for 57.14 to 42.86. 27-20 scoring chances, 10-6 high danger chances, 2.43 to 1.1 expected goals for, all in favor of your San Jose Sharks. So Sharks, though, 0 5-on-5 goals. Sens get 2. And I think that's the difference. They just couldn't find the back of the net. Like that first period, like I said, 18-7 shot attempts, actual shots 10-2, 12-3 scoring chances in that first period. Credit to the Sens, like they fought back in the second period, and that was definitely their game, kind of, especially end of the second, beginning of the third. Like they really kind of took control of the game. 27-13 shot attempts in favor of the Sens in the second period. Scoring chances 14-7, 5-3 high danger chances. Like the Sens did a really good job, especially after that the Sharks scored. They just kind of put their pedal like on the gas and just went with it, and they got rewarded with 2 goals really quick to like the beginning of the third period. And like, yeah, just kind of, tie it up and bring it back. And then, just one of those games, unfortunately. Looking at the forward lines, so we had Ekblad and Celebrini to Foley played 11-31, 5-on-5, 17-9 shot attempts, 9-3 shots for. Did no goals, gave up a goal, 0.45 to 0.2 expected goals for, 7-6 scoring chances, 2-1 high danger chances. This line continues to perform well. And they performed well tonight, and just weren't able to kind of get that goal. Zetterlund, Wenberg, Will Smith played 10-31, 13-7 shot attempts, 5-3 actual shots, 0.26 to 0.13 expected goals for, 5-2 scoring chances, 0-0 high danger chances for that line. Will Smith, like, I want to gush about Will Smith, but I'm kind of saving it a little bit because I'm doing a whole Will Smith episode. Spoiler: Mondays is just a whole Will Smith episode. We're gonna kind of look at how he's been performing here lately. So, but this line, right? We had questions. Can Wenberg, with like play on this line. What happens with this line's been clicking very well. And a lot of it is, yes, having Wenberg on the line, but a lot of it's Will Smith, man. A lot of it's Will Smith creating plays. And yes, Wenberg does his fair share as well. But like Will Smith is quickly becoming the play driver on that line. And that bodes very well for your future San Jose Sharks and kind of where the franchise is heading. So Luke Cunnin, Ty Dellinger, Barclay Goodrow played 9-19, 10-11 shot attempts, 4-4 actual shots. Did give up a goal. 0.16 to 0.38 expected goals for, 3-4 scoring chances, 1-2 high danger chances for that line. And then Clean Costin, Nico Sturm, and Colin Graff played 5-43, 8-7 shot attempts, 4-3 actual shots, 0.43 to 0.04 expected goals for, 5-2 scoring chances, and 3-0 high danger chance. That's not a bad night for that third line, for that fourth line right there. Like, I can live with that. Like, I can live with that type of performance from that fourth line. I know Colin Graff, like, bad penalty there, but he also had a nice opportunity as well. And you're seeing the offense start to kind of, as he gets more comfortable in the NHL, you're seeing that offense start to kind of come out a little bit more and more. With Dellandrea, like, I thought he was very much a highs and lows type of guy. Like, he had some opportunities tonight that you wish he maybe would have capitalized on. 2 penalties that he gets called for as well. But like, they're right now, they're really trying to kind of just find some pieces and who fits well in their on these bottom. It's very much just kind of rotating deck chairs right now, as we like to say here at Locked On Sharks. But it's good to see they have guys fighting with swords on the Barracuda broadcast in the second intermission right now. Absolutely amazing. I kind of wish I was at Renaissance night. Anyway, yeah, it's, if you can get anything out of the bottom 6, it feels like it's a win for you at any point. So, as for the defense tonight, I thought you continue to see positive progress from Shakir Mukhamadullin, especially with his decision making. There was one play where he kind of starts to skate, and then he kind of throws a backhand pass across the rink. Like, that's one of those words, like, I wish you would just keep skating. But you're seeing less and less of that for him. And I think he's really kind of settling in as an NHL defenseman, which is what you want to see from him. That's kind of what the rest, like this kind of last 20 games for him is. And then expectations is that he is like on the roster opening night, like he is locked and loaded type of player. But Farrar Mukhamadullin had a great night. 11-7 shot attempts, 61.11%. Corsi 4. Walman Liljegren 10-8 shot attempts, 55.56%. Walman, you continue to get a little, like, he's going to do some cool stuff, and every once in a while he's going to kind of make a weird mistake. But like that defensive pair was pretty solid for you tonight. Vlasic Thompson, 12-14, 46.15%. You wonder how many of those shot attempts though came when they got hemmed into the zone in that like 3.5 minute period, like section of time. So like, I thought the defense was solid tonight. I think you are seeing much crisper kind of getting the puck out of the zone and kind of getting things going. So what the tweaks that the Sharks have made defensively, I think you're starting to like, okay, like things might be a little bit better here now with the defense. As for Vitek Vanacek tonight, 27 saves on 31 shots, 4 goals allowed on 3.1 expected goals for, 871 save percentage, 8 of 10 high danger saves, 1 of 3 mid danger, 16 of 16 on low danger. Again, that one that just bounces off the glass and just kicks out in front of the net, and just poor guy. You felt bad because like he made a great effort to get back, and if he had saved that, would have been like would have been one of the highlights of the year. So yeah, frustrating game because again, like, as there's a clear path to the Sharks winning this game, but that's why the Sharks are the Sharks right now. So they find ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So we're going to put a button on this game, and we're going to talk about the Seth Jones trade, which came out tonight. And what this, I don't want to be like, how does this affect the Leafs? But this might actually affect the San Jose Sharks, and especially the offseason. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. If you're like me, the mornings have to start with a good cup of coffee. But I get tired of selling for grocery store brands that just weren't cutting it. So I turned to Trade. And let me tell you, this coffee is next level. Trade's the #1 specialty coffee marketplace in the U.S., bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Their experts have taste tested thousands of coffees, curated over 450 amazing roasters. Whether you're new to coffee or know exactly what you use, they'll handpick the perfect match for you. The first bag I got was a game changer. It has such a smooth, rich flavor. It actually tastes a difference from my usual coffee. And the subscription makes it easy, right? They just send it to your house. You don't have to worry about, am I almost out of coffee? Do I need to go to the grocery store? And then if you get to the grocery store and they don't have the one that you like, you don't have to worry about it. And if you don't like your first bag, no worries. Trade will replace it for free until they get it right. So right now, Trade is offering exclusively to our listeners 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/LockedOnNHL. That's drinktrade, TRADE.com/LockedOnNHL for 40% off your first order. drinktrade.com/LockedOnNHL. All right. If you want to, of course, thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. We're done with this one. I know it's a Saturday night episode, but go check out one of the other great shows here at Locked On. You have Locked On NHL, Locked On Fantasy Hockey, anything from the Bay Area, of course. Go check out one of those shows wherever you're listening to this podcast, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And we had a big trade, not just trade coffee. But we had a big trade in the NHL as we continue to see some of these pieces move. So actually, we had three trades today, and one of them kind of has a little bit of, well, two of them potentially have a little bit of Sharks. Actually, they all have kind of a little bit, some sort of Sharks tie. Gus Nyquist, forever Shark, did get traded to the Minnesota Wild. So that maybe takes off a potential Luke Cunning piece. Nyquist, of course, much better. But if the Minnesota Wild are looking at adding some more kind of depth forward pieces, you could maybe scratch off Luke Cunning for there. So there you go. I did it. We also had Ryan the Avs also acquired a left-handed defenseman, which I am Lindgren. Why am I? Anyway, that takes Mario Ferraro off the board to the Avs, which was kind of a hot rumor play. So we'll see what Mario Ferraro there kind of does. Like, that's something that I still think the Sharks are looking really hard. Lindgren did go for a second-round pick, which is interesting. 20, like a little bit older than Mario Ferraro. They did also retain part of his salary as well, which also, so that does kind of help bump up the value there. But anyway, the Seth Jones, that was the big news tonight, of course. Seth Jones getting traded to the Florida Panthers, which I thought this deal was going to be kind of like how we saw with Erik Karlsson, where it's very, like probably an off-season deal, but gets traded to the Florida Panthers. The Blackhawks get a first, and Spencer Knight back from the Florida Panthers. Blackhawks also do retain like $2.5 million to make a nice $7 million for the Florida Panthers. One thing to keep in mind, Seth Jones still has multiple years left on his deal with a no move clause. So this is year 3 of 8 for him. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. His contract expires in 2030. How does this affect the Sharks, you're asking? If you are thinking about potential free agent pieces in the offseason, Aaron Ekblad, noted right-handed defenseman for the Florida Panthers, is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Ekblad is 29 right now. So he's slightly younger than Seth Jones. His birthday is... What is his birthday? Anyway, Aaron Ekblad, though, he is a free agent this offseason. If you are the Florida Panthers, right, you just went out and acquired Seth Jones, and yes, they are 100% trying to win a cup. You're going to try to figure things out right now. Like, you don't care about the picks. You don't care. Like, if you can go win, right, you won one cup already. If you can go back to back, like, who cares about cap ramifications in 2030? Like, that stuff doesn't matter if you win cups, right? And if the Sharks had ever won a cup, we wouldn't care about Vlasic's contract. We wouldn't care about Eric Carl. Like, we wouldn't care about that stuff because you would have your very worn 2019 Stanley Cup champions or 2016 Stanley. Like, if you won one of those, like, it doesn't matter. Like, none of it matters. Like, that's fine. But the Florida Panthers now, this offseason, Sam Bennett, free agent. It's kind of a solid piece to their team. You know, is making he's got 37 points in 58 games this year, including 19 goals. For the Panthers, was a big piece of their playoff run last year with 14 points in 19 games. The year before that, 15 points in 20 games, like Sam Bennett, free agent. You have Maximus Skemich, who's a restricted free agent. You're going to have to pay. Like you have some guys you're going to have to make decisions on, including a new goalie. Well, I guess they do have some not like cheap Chris Trieger. Like, and figure something out. They're going to need a new goal, like a new backup goalie, most likely. But can they afford to pay everybody? And especially with, you assume Ekblad is at least going to get what he's making right now. Ekblad making $7.5 million. If he's goes on another big run here, and especially in the playoffs, and again, I know Ekblad doesn't have the greatest health history, but Ekblad's got 30 points in 53 games this year, only 3 goals. Does play like he is. Maybe the offense isn't where it used to be for Aaron Ekblad compared to a couple years ago where he had 68 points in 71 games. But I think maybe his role's also changed defensively and what he's asked to do for this team. Can the Florida Panthers pay him and kind of pay everybody? They are expected to have about $20 million in cap space going into the offseason with a roster of 15 of 23. So you still need to like sign other dudes, right? So even if you pay Ekblad, whatever, right? That's 16. All right. That still leaves seven roster spots you have to fill with, like, and all those guys aren't going to make vet min. Like, you have to schedule an account for trying to pay some of those guys. I wonder, and again, the Sharks have a bunch of money. They have a huge hole at right-handed defenseman. Do they make a run at Ekblad? And maybe Ekblad, right, coming off potentially at least one Stanley Cup. Maybe the Panthers run and get another deep run this year. Maybe he just wants to get paid and hang out. Cool. Maybe he wants to continue to go to a winning play. Like, who knows? Who knows what Ekblad wants to do, right? But this could have big ramifications for the Sharks if he's potentially available, because we're going to, once we get, out of the season, we're going to be able to spend a lot of time on free agency this year, because the Sharks do have a ton of cap space and they have to spend some money, right? You're projecting at least $20 million to spend just to get to the cap floor. Like, they have to spend money on players, and they don't really have anybody other than Fabian Zetterlund right now that's due for a contract or a substantial contract, right? Sharks are going to have to spend some money, and how they spend that money, well, can spend most of the summer debating on how they're going to spend that money. But you wonder if the Sharks, if Ekblad's out there, do they take a big swing on that? So maybe the Panthers are able to kind of finagle to figure it out. And they're just going to be one of those teams that kind of starts to hit that stars and scrubs approach where we're just going to pay our top guys, and then everybody else, you're getting paid as little as potentially possible. And there's definitely a world where they do that. But I think what's made this team so good, right, is its depth, and you're getting contributions from your second and third lines. And as more people get bigger pieces of the pie, it's going to be tougher. And if you just went out and got Seth Jones, can he do what Ekblad does? I think we'll find out here more over the end of the season. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, we're probably talking Will Smith unless something crazy happens. So make sure you follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.